That's weird. Am I live? That's weird. It doesn't. It's not showing up in my OBS plugin. It's weird. I think I'm live. Yeah, I'm live. Huh. Let's see. Docs. YouTube live control panel. Oh, that's super weird. Well, now I'm kind of suspect if my stream or my chat's gonna come through. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Chat's coming through. Okay, cool. For a second there, I wasn't sure if I was live because OBS is behaving funny. Hello, Himantha. I think I said that right. Did I say that somewhat right? Also, I'm gonna move my camera just a touch. Inspire. Hello, Inspire. How are you doing? Good to see you this fine evening. Dude, that's so weird. It shows... Yeah, I'm definitely live on YouTube, right guys? It's just not showing up at all in my Inspire. Good. Woke up early. Woke up way too early. How about you? I'm good, man. Yeah. The evening is winding down here in the Freeborn household. Got the kids to bed. So now it's time for the adults to do the things they want to do. Do a quick post in my Discord. Yeah, it's so bizarre. Like I can see my stream is live on my YouTube channel, but if I go to YouTube Studio, like it doesn't list my live. So I'm wondering if something is glitched, which kind of has me concerned. There we go. Okay, it worked itself out. All right, cool. I'm gonna stop obsessing over that. Let's see, Discord, Playground. There you go. Yeah, so we're just we're gonna settle in here and drink some coffee, write a little code, maybe solve some problems, hopefully get a release of dopamine, and have a good Monday evening. All right, so I've actually been working on this a little bit off stream. This is my Discord playground, which is basically a place where I'm sort of working out how I need to connect to Discord's API. And Discord's API has I think 3 different APIs. They have the REST API. I guess they just have 2 APIs. They have the REST API and they have the Gateway API. And the Gateway API uses WebSockets. And in order to use it effectively, you have to manage this connection in this very specific way. And I'm essentially I am here where I'm sending heartbeats. And I was further than that, but I was refactoring things. So I was just doing it all here in the program CS, but I'm refactoring things now to just a client, like an actual Discord client, and the Discord client is going to manage all of that connection state for me. So let's go into the Discord client, and I pretty much have everything set up at the moment. Basically, I can receive messages at this point. So let me go ahead and do Control-Shift-T for a new tab. Inspire, on my way to make coffee too. Nice, dude. Very good. Get the caffeine flowing. All right. So make this a little bigger. Disable read line. Discord playground. So if I do .NET run, this will connect. Right now, all the Discord client will do is it will connect, and then it gets the hello code, and that's where it ends. So this is the code that I need to react to now. So I need to react to opcode 10, which is the hello code, and that's what tells me I need to start my heartbeat interval. So that's what I'm going to implement next. Yeah. So this is where we need to be. We need to be handling our events here. And this Discord event is actually going to be a polymorphic. Yeah, it's going to be polymorphic. And so if we go to Discord's API, let's see. They actually have a better one here. Gateway events. So the base is always going to have integer, S, and T, and the event data is going to be specific to whatever payload's coming through. So what we need to do is we actually need to remove the data from the base class. This int is not nullable. There's always an opcode based on their documentation. There's always an opcode. There's sometimes a S, or there's sometimes a string, or T, I mean a type. So here we go. Discord sends the app a hello opcode. Let's hello opcode, which looks like this. So I'm going to make a new one that's called internal record, and it's going to be Discord hello Discord event. Actually, should these be, maybe these should be classes. Let's see, record. No, we can do this without a constructor. So what we need to do is we need to remove this, take away the primary constructor, and then we will just add these as init only properties, and so we'll say public int op, which is going to be get init that. So we'll remove that. Then we'll say JSON property name. We'll do the same thing here with all the others. So JSON property name is going to be S. Public int sequence, and then we need type. God, it really wants me to add the D property. There we go. Then we'll just remove this. That way we don't have to have a constructor. And then this way we can do internal record hello Discord event, which will inherit from Discord event. And yeah, and this is going to have some hello data. So the hello data is going to look like this. So it's just going to be a single heartbeat interval, and it's going to be an integer. So we'll make an internal one. Yep, just like that. Okay, so then that lets us, that's going to let us now represent these with strongly typed events if we do it this approach. Right, so if we go back into our client, we can then do something like this where we can say, let's see, we can switch on the type. So we can say, we don't have to switch on the op. We can switch on the type now. So C# switch case on type. I think we can, can't we? We can switch on the type. I mean, we can do if, like we can do this too. We can say if E is hello Discord event, then we can do something like that. And then the nice thing there is now we know HE has a data property and it has a heartbeat interval. Start heartbeat. I'll leave this log statement in here. What's up, Alex? Inspire. Have you ever tried the Vietnamese cold coffee? I have not. Is it good? Inspire. Working with Discord API is relatively easy. I think it's pretty easy if you use something like Discord.js. Like if you use an existing library, like an existing SDK that's already worked out all of this connection logic, I think it's much more straightforward. But when I was reading through their docs and I saw this, I was like, you know what? I kind of want to try my hand at implementing that, you know? Like that looks like a really fun puzzle to try to solve. So I'm just gonna try to do it myself. Well, I mean, once you have this is the bulk of the code, right? Because the bulk of the code is just dealing with this connection. Once you have this all implemented, then it's just a matter of reacting to events that you receive from Discord. Or, yeah, basically, yeah, telling Discord what events you want sent to you, and then just reacting to when those events come through. Discord.js seems to be by far the best client library of all the client libraries I looked at. There's two different .NET client libraries I looked at, and there's a Go client library I looked at, and neither of them looked as elegant as this. So if you wanted to build something quickly and get up and running really fast, this is probably what I would use. Like, this is all you need to get going. Create a new client, declare the events you want to listen to and what you want to do when those things happen, and then log in, or basically start the connection. And this is what I'm trying to model my implementation off of this, right? So where I can basically say, here's a new Discord client. Obviously, I'm passing in some extra things. And then I want to be able to add, so I want to be able to say Discord client dot on something, right? And add an event delegate. Haven't made it that far yet, but that's where I'm headed. But I think the Discord APIs though should be easy to interact with if you're not doing what I'm doing, which is like reinventing the wheel for the fun of it. Okay, so I think all we want to do here is we just want to say start heartbeat, but it doesn't need to be async. It doesn't need to be async because we're gonna do this in another thread. We're gonna have the heartbeat running in another thread, so we don't need to await it. We want to do just pass the hello event, and then we'll also pass our cancellation token. Let's see, and then we need to handle it. So we'll say private void start heartbeat. And this is pretty close to what we want to do. That's pretty close to what we want to do. Start heartbeat. Is heartbeat one word? Or is heartbeat two words? Heartbeat. Crypto news. Did you work with any payment service as microservices for a project? I haven't done that, crypto news. Like I said, I've built a lot of things and put them out publicly, but I've never charged for them. So I've never had the need to integrate a payment service. I would like to learn how to do that this year, though. And I'd specifically like to learn how to do it with Stripe, is what I'd like. That's one of my goals for this year. One of my development related learning goals is to figure out how to accept payments or how to set up subscriptions using Stripe, which there seems to be a lot of good learning information out there on it. Like I saw Web Dev Cody actually just released a video pretty recently about it. And Stripe's documentation is wonderful. They have a lot of tutorials, it looks like get started tutorials. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so let's do hello Discord event. And we need the cancellation token. Let's see, like that. And then for right now, we're just gonna throw new not implemented, like that. Yeah. So I've already written the code to do this, really. I did this earlier. So basically, right, I need to do this. That's what I need to do. So let's go ahead and let's see. Let's go ahead and just copy here to here. Discord client. Ah, I just wiped out my buffer, didn't it? Dang it. There we go. And then we need to uncomment all this. Leader GC. Okay. So this is going to be my WebSocket state. Oh, I don't have this yet. I don't have any of this implemented. So let's comment that out for the moment. Hey, honey. And then instead of doing, you know, I actually don't know. What is this? Returns a random integer that is within specified range. Well, that's only going to return 0 to 1, isn't it? All right, so then for the interval, I can do hello event dot data dot heartbeat interval, like that. This is not nullable. We'll just default it. Okay, so then let's go back to Discord client. And we need to implement this. We can also do logger, yeah, starting heartbeat task, and then we can also do, let's see, now we need to implement another method that's called send heartbeat async, like this. Crypto News, hi Steven, what are you building? I'm working my way up to building a Discord bot, but before I actually try to build the bot, I'm having to write the logic to manage the connection. I'm basically implementing this, is what I'm implementing, this diagram. So you establish a connection, you receive an event, you begin basically a ping, like a back and forth heartbeat between your bot and the gateway. Then you have to identify yourself, and then you have to just manage that connection over time. So that's what I'm doing. Crypto News, you are writing C#. Yes, I am writing C#. Cherie, bro, do you know how to code in HTML or CSS? I do, Cherie. I do know how to do front-end development. Tolu, being a teenager is hard. You can't control your emotions, your thoughts, your body, almost nothing. Well, hello, Tolu. I'm surprised to see you back here, man. The last time you signed off, you made it seem like we would never speak again, but nice to see you here. I do agree being a teenager is tough. That part of your life from like age 13 to maybe like 21, it's kind of a rough time in life. You're growing up a lot. Your physiology is changing a lot. Yeah, I don't envy you. But good to see you here, man. Good to see you here. All right. So to send a heartbeat, this I also have a method already written. I don't think it's quite exhaustive, but it's basically this. So Discord client. Drop that in there. We'll uncomment that. I'm going to make an event for this. I'm going to call it you know what? If we look at their documentation for events, they talk about you have send events and you have receive events. And so we should probably see, send events are gateway events and encapsulated in an event payload. It looks like there's some common things between these events. Like token seems to always be there. All right, I'm not gonna get too hung up on this. So I probably need to like declare that this is a Discord receive event, is what this represents. So I'm gonna create a new one that's called internal record heartbeat Discord event, but it's not gonna inherit from. Is it gonna inherit from Discord event? It really shouldn't. Let's see. It really shouldn't. Yeah, I mean, it does have an op. Yeah, I don't think it's going to. I think it's just going to be a internal record, and it's going to have see, this is just going to have a getter, and it's always set to 1. And then the sequence is going to be in the D field, and it can be null. Yep, and we're going to add a constructor there. I actually think I'm just going to call this a heartbeat event. For brevity. Okay, so let's go back to Discord client. And so now this should be new heartbeat event. And we need the sequence. This should be an int. It's nullable. Sequence. This can be e.sequence. What did we call this? Hello event. Dot sequence. Did we ever establish his heartbeat 1 word or 2 words? Looks like it's 1 word. He heard her heartbeat. Yeah, it's one word. So this should be lowercase. And this should be web. This should be my private field of WebSocket. And this does not have a send method on it yet, because I'm using an interface. And the reason why I'm using an interface is so that I can test this all correctly when it comes time to test it. Dogman, yo, what's up? Hello, Dogman. How are you doing? Sharon, actually, I'm a mid UI designer and also interested in learning backend, but don't know where to start. So I really enjoy front end work. I think front end work is very rewarding because you see the results of your labor very rapidly, right? So I do enjoy building front end stuff. Let's see, learning back end. I also would say, Shri, to your chat, I would never consider myself a designer, though. I don't know if I have very good taste from a design perspective. I definitely have an aesthetic that I usually build towards. But a lot of times I just try to copy other aesthetics of other sites that I like. But see, learning backend. So Shri? So you know front end, right? So that means you know how to write JavaScript, right, Shri? If that's the case, I would probably look at checking out, if you're interested in building backends, I would probably check out Hano.dev. It's a web app framework that lets you build, you can build server rendered web apps, you can build web APIs, all kinds of things, right? It's like the better version of Express, in my opinion, or the more up-to-date version of Express. And it works in all the different runtimes. So if you want to use Bun or Dino, or if you want to run it in a Cloudflare worker, all those things will work. So that's probably where I would start. They've got some good docs. They've got some good example stuff. Yeah, if you already know JavaScript, I feel like this would be a good place to start. If you want more like structured curriculum, Shri, I would check out Free Codecamp. Some of their curriculum will be obviously not for you since you already know like front end development, but they do have some back end development courses on there that you could check out. So I'd take a look at that. Let's see, Tolu. I'm going to create an x86 assembly written Discord bot, and Steven, I am serious. Well, if you do that, that'd be pretty sick. I don't know assembly, so I could never implement that, but or at least I couldn't currently implement it, and it would take me a great deal of time and effort to do something like that. So I'm just gonna stick with doing my Discord bot in C# and just have fun figuring out how to work with WebSockets. All right, so why were we in this file? We were in this file because we need to add a new method that's called sendAsync, which is exactly that, I believe. So we have end of message, we have the type, and we have a buffer. And then we'll just basically, this is just like a wrapper. This is just like a wrapper class around the built-in .NET WebSocket or client WebSocket. And so I'm just going to call straight into that method. And the reason for this is, if it's not clear, like you may be thinking, well, why would you write a wrapper? Like, why would you write a wrapper class around another wrapper? Is because this wrapper class implements this interface, and that interface is what gets injected or gets used in my client. So if I want to actually write test code for my Discord client, I can then mock this interface, and control its behavior in test code. So that's the reason for the indirection. All right, let's go down here, back to where we were. Let's see, and I'm expecting now this should have, yep, a send async method. Oh yeah, I guess if we're probably gonna need some locking around this too. There's gonna be some issues with like the send heart. This heartbeat async method is going to be happening in a different thread, and so we're probably gonna need to do some asynchronous locking in this class. Yeah, so I think what we want to do here is what we want to do here, I think, is actually want to abstract this, because we're going to have to do this in multiple places. This basically what we're doing is we're taking the heartbeat, we're serializing it to JSON, and then we're going to send that over our WebSocket connection. And we're going to want to do that more than once, so we should put this in a separate method. So we're going to say private async task. This is going to be send JSON async. This is going to take any object, which is our data. And then this is going to be cancellation token. Like that. And so then here what we're going to do is we're just going to then send the heartbeat. So instead of doing all this, we'll say await and this is going to return date time. Hello, Unique UX. How are you? Bro, I don't think it's worth showing the API token on the stream. Yeah, I'm not showing my API token on the stream. Java. I think you're just trying to get me flustered. Trying to get a reaction. Let's see. Sheree, I really appreciate it, mate, and thanks for the information. Of course, man. FNAF man, what's poppin'? Hello, FNAF man. That's quite, every time I see your username, that's quite the username. Tolu, TCP sockets, TLS encryption, HTTP requests, WebSocket. There's no libraries to help me. I'd be rewriting half the internet stack in assembly just to say hello world on a Discord, but I don't care. Tolu, what happened to the commit progression text, by the way? Oh, I just forgot to start it. Here, I'll start it. One sec. Give me one sec. I just forgot to do that. Let's see. We want to do the Discord playground is what we want to do. So let's go there. Copy this path. And then we need to go back up. Need to monitor that. Okay, and then I just turned the lines changed on. There you go. Sorry about that. I completely forgot about that, turning that on. Dogman, do you know who else? My mom. That was a terrible my mom joke. Unique UX. What's with the heartbeat function? So the heartbeat function is basically just a way. We have to have some way. So if we're looking at the Discord, where's the Discord docs? Yeah, so if we're looking at the Discord docs, they basically say that whenever you establish your initial connection and they send back a hello event, we need to start this interval where we periodically it's like every 40 seconds it seems like, or so, on some interval that Discord defines, we have to send them an event, and then they send us back an acknowledgement of that event, and we have to keep doing that the whole time that this connection is open to keep it alive. Even if we disconnect and we resume, we have to start that heartbeat again. And so that's why the heartbeat function exists. So that's what's that about. That is what that is about. Yes. So we need to send async. So what we want to do here is we want to say if the WebSocket state is not open, right? Then we just don't do anything. And we can log a message too, I guess. Yeah, we just don't do anything. Otherwise, what we're going to do is we're going to try to send the message. And preferably, when we try to send a message, we do not want this to crash. Whatever called it. So we'll just log the error. And we don't want it. Do we want to throw? I don't know. I don't know if we want to throw. I think we want to throw. I don't think we want to throw if it's an operation exception. If the operation was canceled, then I think we just want to log that. But I think if something else happens, then we probably should throw. Okay, so then in here, what do? In here, this is where we're going to do our serialization and everything else. So we get our bytes, we create our buffer, and then we're going to send it like that. There's definitely some multi-threading, async locking stuff that I'm gonna have to come back and do. Because this method is gonna be called in that other thread that the heartbeat's running on, but it's also gonna be called from the main thread. And like accessing this WebSocket state is going to be across those threads. So I'm going to have to do some sort of locking probably. But I'll come back to that. Let's just get the heartbeat working. And I'm going to capture this in a state. I'm going to capture this in a instance field. So we're going to say private date time last. Yeah, we can say time. There we go. And then we'll go down here and we'll assign that here. Yep, and we need to pass in our token. But this is actually going to be, we need to make a new token. We need to make a new token. We need to create a linked token. And the reason for this is, the reason why we need to make a linked token is because there's going to be cases where we might need to cancel just the heartbeat, but leave the overall operation okay. But then there's going to be times if somebody does cancel the whole entire operation, we want that to cascade to the start heartbeat, even though it's running on another thread. So we need to make, we need to link some tokens together. So we're going to say var. Well, we need to make a new one. We need to say var heartbeat cancellation token source. Yeah, we need a new one like that. And then we need to make a linked one that combines these two. Oh my gosh, this name is so long. I should probably name this something different. Let's just do heartbeat CTS. Is that okay? I think that's okay. See you, Talou. Let's see, I missed a couple. I missed quite a few messages here. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Account Duo says, the Emerald Eagle says, what's this story? The Emerald Eagle, this is just, I'm just writing code. No story. Account Duo, Blue Snowball, have mine 10 years ago. Still, that's funny. That's probably as old as mine is, Account Duo. And I also cover the red light because it's annoying just like you do. I got this in a Best Buy before my kids were born. My oldest kid's almost 9, so yeah, it's about 10 years old. I actually want to upgrade to like the new Rode pod mic, but I'm not going to spend any money on streaming equipment until I actually make money while streaming. That's kind of been my like that's been my way of spending too much money on gadgets for streaming. Alex Jensen, any advice for learning a new programming language? I've been coding in C# for 2 years and now have a new job that primarily codes in Python. Alex, I mean, you have more professional dev experience, it sounds like, than even I do. It seems like. My advice would just be fingers on the keyboard, man. As much time as you can spend writing Python, the better. That's a pretty gnarly switch, though, going from C# to Python. I'm curious how that's going for you. Unique UX. Oh, I see. I figured it. Yeah, something like that. Exactly. The heartbeat function. Talou. Looks like Talou left. See you later, Talou. Or maybe Talou was talking to somebody else. Can you shout out my cat named Glitter Shitter? No, nice cat name, man. Let's see. Khaled. Wow, so much thinking for an error exception. Khaled, commit your changes, man. Yeah, I am. I'm probably at the point where I should make a commit. I figure I'll get the heartbeat thing working and then I'll commit. How about that? Khaled, nah, best code is written when all kinds of data races. Synchronization is for the weak. Well, if you're not the one who has to debug the race conditions, then yeah, synchronization is for the weak. Let's see, unique UX. I'm working on marketing templates for people launching Steam games, video content, landing page, Steam kit. That's pretty cool. I could definitely see there being a market for that. Actually, a colleague at work, he's built one Steam game, and I think he's still working on a second Steam game, if I'm not mistaken. Blake, what the hell is this? C#? Vomit? Blake, you don't like C#, dude? C#'s baller, man. Modern C# is kick ass. If you're not writing modern C#, I think you're missing out. Toad Sage, yo, I think I'm late to the party. See, yes, Toad Sage, you are a little late to the party, but we're glad you're here. Hello, Artwork Studio. How are you doing? You slept good? Yeah, I didn't sleep though. I slept good last night. I haven't gone to sleep yet today. Shark Zoo, do you know AWS? I don't know AWS. I've done very little in AWS. Whenever I go into their console, I just have immediate anxiety. Their UI, in my opinion, is so overwhelming. And I can never remember all the names. The only names of their managed services that I can never remember is SES, Simple Email Service. Now that's a well-named service. Adrian, Discord is dying, but good effort, bro. Keep it up. Well, I guess, Adrian, what I would say to that is, one, I'm writing this and I'm doing this to learn and to have fun. So if Discord dies, so be it. Second off, we use Discord for some of the community members in the chat. And so as long as they're interested in using Discord, it seems like it might be fun to have a custom Discord bot that I can do stuff with. Calais, just trolling. I swear I had to debug code with data races at my job. Yeah, that's not easy stuff, right? Like doing multi-threading, that's just whenever you're starting to deal with multi-threads and having to synchronize data across those threads. I mean, C# has what I'll probably use here is I'll probably use a semaphore. They have a class name called let's see, is it private read only? I think it's called Semaphore Slim. That's probably what I'll use to do the asynchronous locking. Is the Semaphore Slim. I'll probably actually write a asynchronous lock. I've seen this done before. I've seen other people have a similar class where what is it? They basically do like an internal class. I bet Copilot can write this for me. Async lock. Yeah, see, Copilot can write this class. There's probably a bunch of these out in the wild. And then the benefit with this is then you can just use the using. You can do something like this. I don't think you need the releaser though. Yeah, I don't think you need the releaser. I think what you could do. This could just be a task. And then this can just implement iDisposable itself. That. I think that will work. But I'll probably end up doing something like this. There might be more I need to do there, but that's probably what I'll end up doing for the asynchronous locking. Because I have a few fields here that I'm going to be checking and setting, and we're going to need some synchronization there. All right, but we've gotten distracted. Our goal is to get the heartbeat working. That's our goal. Let's see. This we'll do in a minute. We have our link token source, which is good now. We also should be... we should actually be capturing this in an instance field. And the reason we want to do that is because before we start another one, we should cancel one if there's already existing. So we'll do private task. Oh no, that... yeah, I want the heartbeat task. Oh, this is the heartbeat cancellation token. That, I don't know. Do I need to capture that in an instance? I definitely need to capture this, though. Heartbeat task. Because I may have to cancel that. I think I need to cancel this. I think I need to capture this, too. Yeah, I think I need to cancel this, too. Okay, and then I think we need to wrap this in a try catch, just in case we do cancel the operation. Good morning, King. Good morning, Neil. Neil? I don't know how to say that. Khalid pissed me off. Google rewrites history. Program these nuts. Nice, Google rewrites history. Nice. That's the trollish. That's the most trolly comment I've had in a stream in a really long time. So congratulations. Artworks use. I hate using AWS. Yeah, for me it's just it's probably a skill issue on my part. I haven't used it much. Toad says, what's the topic of stream though? By the way, I got my Japanese PR process. Nice, dude. That's your permanent residency, right, Toad Sage? So congrats on that, man. I'm hoping it got processed or you got the outcome you were hoping for. The topic of the stream is really just, we can talk about whatever you want. I'm just working on doing this Discord client implementation for fun. Because it's actually a pretty interesting problem because you have to manage this connection state. It's kind of complex because you've got to manage, like, you're going to have one main thread, then you got to have this heartbeat that's running in another thread. And then in addition, you've got to be able to handle disconnects. And then you've got to be able to handle both disconnects where you can connect and resume and also disconnects where you can't resume. So it's just kind of an interesting state management problem that also involves dealing with multiple threads and doing synchronization across those threads. So it's just kind of an interesting problem. Universal AAA. Finally, someone using terminal Emacs. This is NeoVim. So I think this is the other side of the Emacs, Vim, or Universal Agent. What is your opinion on Kotlin? I've never written any Kotlin. Kotlin is like is Kotlin runs on the JVM, right? Yeah, Kotlin runs on the JVM. But it's kind of like is it kind of like Lisp? Oh, it's not a Lisp dialect. Yeah, I've never written any Kotlin, so I don't even have an opinion on it. I just know that it's runs on the JVM. That's like the only thing I know about it. Arkin, hello, Arkin. Talua, I'm gonna open a pull request on my DNA one day. That would be pretty nuts. Could you imagine being able to edit your own DNA? That'd be pretty wild. Artwork Studios. I'm definitely not gonna steal this code if it's on GitHub. Oh, it is. It's very much on GitHub. It's very much on. It's very much on GitHub. I'll fully admit it may not be like the greatest implementation, but I'm trying to do the best I can. And like I said, this is more for like exploring the API and really figuring out how I would implement some sort of client to manage the connection. I'll migrate this to like an actual. My plan is to have like a worker, basically like a worker type app that runs in a Docker container, and the worker starts up. It makes the connection to the Discord Gateway API, and then it just sits there and listens for events and reacts to them however I deem it to react. Steven, please Google WTFPL. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Is that what the fuck something? Let's see. WTFPL is a very permissive license for software and others. I always just use the MIT license. Huh, I've never heard of this one. Do what the fuck you want to public license. That's hilarious. I just saw that at the bottom of the website, of this website. Do what the fuck you want to public license. Nice. I always just use the MIT one. Is the one I use. Artwork shows, trust me, my Discord bots are broken over repair, and I don't know how to host any actual bots. Like, I think if you honestly though, if you had mission critical bots, you should probably write them with Discord.js. Like, it just seems like this is the most well thought out, and I'm guess it's probably the most used. So yeah, I feel like don't use my code. I mean, well, use my code, but no, it might not work for you. Or it might work initially, and then it might have things that I didn't deal with. All right, so where were we in this process? I'm at the point now where I basically just need to what do I basically want to wrap. If something fails, right? Well, let's say, oh, we also need to add a new condition to my while loop. So while WebSocket state is not closed, and while linked token, oh, that's not really, this really should be linked TS, shouldn't it? Because this is a token source. This is not the token. So while and linked dot token that is cancellation requested is false. So while the WebSocket, basically while the WebSocket state is not closed, Should I say not close or should I say open? Maybe I just do while WebSocket state is open. Yeah, while the WebSocket state is open and the linked TS token cancellation request is false, then we're going to do this stuff. But let's we're going to put this all in a try catch block. So we're going to say catch, and if so, why would something throw? Yeah, I think we need to do this. I think we need to do that. RB task canceled. And do we need to break? I don't think we need to break. I think we just want to know that it was canceled. Oh, and we also need to pass the token. So this needs to have the token. Cancellation token. Just need to keep cascading the token down. And this is going to be our linked token source token. Also, I'm going to rename this to CTS just to stick with our convention here. Yeah, I think that works. Hello, Bacon. How are you? See you, Toad Sage. Official Jesus Christ. No, my husband's not home, but my hot wife is home. Tolu, it is a real thing. That's a pretty funny license name. Arkin, if you are going to work on a serious personal project and at the same time want it to be open source, use GPL. Okay. I don't know enough about the different licenses to know. Everything I've ever made really has been, yeah, I've pretty much all put an MIT license on it. But I'm guessing I probably should give some consideration to anything I build where I'd want somebody to actually maybe pay me for it. But I don't know. I don't know enough about that world. I'd probably need to get a lawyer involved. Or have chat. Ask chat. AMC, is software engineer coding going to be replaced by AI? There's probably a lot of people in the chat that have an opinion on that. My personal opinion is I don't think so. At least not for a while. I think that we've got a long ways to go before that happens. AMC said hi. Hello, AMC. I won't use GPL just so someone can't make a version closed source later on. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't know enough. You guys, it sounds like you guys know more about the licensing stuff than I do. I'm not really sure. I used MIT because it seemed like it was the most permissive. Like, basically, any code I've ever put on GitHub, it's kind of like, hey, if you want to use this, I don't care. But yeah, if I was gonna put something, if I was gonna build something that I might want to make money off of, maybe I do need to think about the license carefully. But I've not gotten to that point yet, so. I don't think I want to throw here. I think what I want to do if this happens, yeah, I think what I want to do here if this does happen, I think is I want to reconnect. Attempt to reconnect. I think that's what I want to do. I haven't implemented reconnection log it, but I think that's what I want to do. Operation cancel, that's to be expected. So if I do cancel a heartbeat, I want to catch that and not do anything. Just move on with my life. All right, I think we're at a point now where the heartbeat should run. Let's see, and then the other thing we're gonna need to do here is we'll want to send identify event. We haven't got that far yet. Otherwise, we'll return. The next event we're going to check for is if E is a heartbeat acknowledge Discord event. That's not quite what I want to do. I want to do return task completed. Let's see, time last heartbeat acknowledge. Yeah, I want to do that, and I want to log it. Oh, I also want to initialize these to date time dot min values. Okay, I need to define this event. So we'll do internal record. Heartbeat ec. Heartbeat ac Discord event. I think the only thing this has is, I think this just has a, Yeah, it just got the op code. That's all it has in it. All right. So, okay, so we're at a point where we need to run this, but the deserialization of these events isn't going to work because I need to implement a converter to tell the serializer how to use these things. So I'm going to do that now. Greg, at JavaScript? No, it is C#. Oh, Tulu already said that. If I wanted to make money, I wouldn't have open source it. Yeah, it's a good point. Jane, hello there. Is that C#? It is C#. Arkin, GPL, TLDR. Not yourself nor anyone else can sell a closed source product using GPL licensed software. It means freedom of the user to access the source code. Oh, well, that's cool. Okay, GPL would be cool if you're making something you want to make money off of, but you don't want somebody to just clone your stuff and start a competitor, but your users can still see your source code. That's pretty cool. And probably people could fork it, right? They could fork your software and use it for themselves, but they can't sell it. Artwork Studio C# is good to me, but sometimes Visual Studio just be messing with me. Like, what do you mean a button takes 3 gigabytes? Yeah, I don't use Visual Studio that much when I write C#. I use Visual Studio Code and NeoVim, and I just use Visual Studio when I really need to do something that only it can do. But I could definitely see for like the enterprise dev who's working on really big C# or .NET projects, right? You got like a solution with like 50 projects in it. I can see VS Code being Visual Studio being super helpful. Artwork Studios. Yesterday I tried teaching my sister to code. She almost infected my PC with a virus. Well, way to go, her. Unique UX. My kids see me coding and then ask me to help them with Minecraft commands, and I'm just like, I don't know, guys. My kids are pretty good with the Minecraft commands. They're pretty good with Redstone too. My kids keep telling me that my YouTube channel would be way more successful if I had video game content instead of coding content. So just wait. I guess my gamer stream arc is, I guess, coming at some point. Ashutosh, is this coding? It is. Right now I'm trying to work on building a Discord bot is eventually where I'm trying to get to. But right now I'm just I'm trying to learn the API. I'm trying to learn Discord's gateway API and how to manage the connection with their API. And I find one of the most helpful ways to learn an API is to write code to do that. So even though some of this code might be throwaway code, I'll walk away from it with a better understanding. Are coding and programming the same? Yeah, pretty much. The way people talk about them, they're kind of interchangeable. An interchangeable vernacular. I'm sure somebody out there could argue semantics. Talua, I guess we can think of programming as fictionalizing a book and coding as physically writing a book. Oh, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, Talua said it way more elegantly and with way more intelligence than I did. Ashutosh, I'm not a CS student, but I want to learn coding, but it feels boring. Am I making some mistake? Yeah, I don't know. Coding never feels boring to me. I like, even doing this, like, I know some of this code I'll probably just end up never really going back and using again. But to me, just the act of like trying to figure out how I translate this diagram, how I translate this logic into code is interesting to me. It's like a puzzle, right? And every time I solve a piece of the puzzle, I get a little bit of dopamine, and my lizard brain is happy. So, but you know, everybody finds other certain activities different. Everybody experiences things differently, right? So maybe coding isn't for you, right? If you find it that boring, or maybe you haven't found the right problem space to work on, or the right type of development to do. Unique UX. You really need to go balls deep if you want to code. Borderline obsessive and be addicted to solving complex problems. Yeah, I feel like that's what happens, right? When you find a problem that you're super interested in, it sort of draws you in that way. You kind of become hyper fixated on it until you get things just right, you know, like just right. Not only just right in that like it's a correct answer, but just right in like the code looks right and it feels right, right? Like I think we've all been there where like we're trying to implement something, you got it working, but then you sat back and looked at what you wrote and you're like, that looks uglier than sin. And then you spend a lot of time just like reorganizing the code into a much more pleasing structure or pleasing API. It's definitely a thing. Programming is the absolute art. I like that. It is very artistic. There's a guy, I don't know if you guys like listening to like people give talks about programming, but there's a guy named David Whitney who speaks a lot on the NDC circles or circuits, NDC circuits. And he has a talk he gives called, I want it's called Intentional Code. And I don't know, I mean, he may not be for everyone. Like, he's definitely a very interesting fella, but I really like the way he talks about programming and coding. He has very much of like an artistic take towards the craftsmanship, which I really enjoy. Artwork studios, to me it's fun to try and struggle to get JavaScript not breaking. Yeah. Yeah, if you do not like spending your time troubleshooting and debugging, then yeah, coding might not be for you, right? If you get frustrated by that. Ashutosh, where can I start learning as an absolute beginner? I'm sure there's people in chat that have opinions on that. My opinion is to go to Free Code Camp, which I just put the link in the chat. But Free Code Camp, I feel like, is a really great place to start. It's completely free. It's got a great community around it. It's well structured. It's definitely not the only option, right? There's tons of tutorials on YouTube and Coursera and Pluralsight. There's tons of paid learning. But I feel like Free Code Camp's a good place to start. Sogo. Oh, I see Discord event. What are you creating at the moment, Steven? So at the moment, Sogo, I'm doing the very boring work of plumbing together all of the connection management, like managing the state of the connection, and that's what I'm doing right now. Once I understand that, like once I have a rough working prototype, then I'm gonna make a Discord bot, and I'll port this code over to like a proper app, and I'll write some actual test code. And my goal with the Discord bot, the first thing I'm gonna have the Discord bot do is I'm just gonna have it, when anybody joins my server, I'm just gonna have it post a nice welcome message, which I know building my own Discord bot to do that is probably over engineering, but then I thought over time we can add functionality to it that might be more fun. Like, I think somebody talked about adding functionality so that whenever somebody posted a meme in our meme channel, whenever someone posted a meme in the meme channel, we could maybe send that to an LLM and have the LLM like grade it or rank it. Might be kind of fun to do stuff like that. Unique UX. I think you should start with HTML, CSS, and then Python, JS. Yeah, and I'm with Unique UX on that. I would advocate JavaScript as the programming language just because that's the native language of the browser and you can use it on the back end. Whereas Python, like, it's a great back end language, but it's not really the native language of the browser. I know there is a library though that will let you run Python in the browser. What's it called? It's called Python. Yeah, PyScript. So if you do decide to learn Python and not JavaScript, you could use PyScript to do things on the front end. I haven't used this, but I've seen videos of people using this, and it looks kind of interesting. Our worksheets. I wonder why doesn't Discord let us just code in peace? So go. That's exciting. Yeah, it's exciting. It's fun for me because it's like a little puzzle, right? And it's actually, I was saying this earlier, so forgive me for anybody I'm repeating this to, but it's actually kind of an interesting problem because you have to do things in a multi-threaded way. And so that forces you to do some synchronization of state across threads, and you have to manage quite a bit of state to deal with like the disconnect of the connection, potentially needing to resume the connection, which is a different flow than just reconnecting. And then you also have to be able to handle reconnects in general. So it's kind of an interesting problem to solve. Unique UX. I still haven't joined the Discord yet. Oh man, join us. Here you go. Here's the link. I'll put it in chat. You should join. It's a good time. Ashu Pende, learn to code is platform. No, freecodecamp.org. It's that link that shows up after you type !learn to code. There's a link that'll be posted by Nightbot, and it's called freecodecamp.org. That's where I would start. Tulu, my big brother made me start with C. Well, hey man, big brothers sometimes want you to do the right thing. Asked you which language should I choose to start. I think what Unique UX I said is I think a really good recommendation. HTML, CSS, and then pick a back-end language, or pick like a proper programming language, I guess, if you don't consider CSS an HTML programming language. Then pick either JavaScript or Python. And I think you can make a case for either. I would make the case for JavaScript personally, but it's up to you. Wave of Entertainment said hi. Hello, Wave of Entertainment. How are you doing? Yeah, Unique UX. I feel the same way about web dev versus people who do game dev, or people who do like embedded system development. Yeah, I feel you there. Tulu, your big brother graduated from 3 universities. He has 3 different types of engineering degrees. That's pretty intense. Yeah, you got a lot to live up to there, man. Sogo, my brother made me learn assembly first. Man, your guys' brothers are harsh. If my little brother came to me and wanted to code, I'd just teach him JavaScript. Yeah, that's pretty intense. All right, let's see if we can write this this converter really quick, and then we should be able to test if all the code I've written is actually useful. All right, so we're gonna have a internal class. This is going to be called Discord Event Converter. and it's going to implement the JSON converter, and it's going to be for Discord events, like that. And then we have to actually implement this abstract class. So for the write method, it's been a minute since I've written one of these converters. For the write method, basically all I need to do is just serialize it to a string. So yeah, for here, all I need to do is I just need to say JSON, serializer, and then I just serialize it like that. Now, the other one I have to, this is where I need to special case this. So what I have to do here is I have to say using var JSON document. We'll parse the value. Then we'll get our root element. And normally what you do here is you'd say var type, but in this case I don't want to actually base my deserialization on the type. I want to base it on the opcode. So I'll say op root element, which should be an int. And then what I'll do is I will switch on that. So I'll say op switch, and then I'll basically do something like this, only I don't want to do that. Let's see. And instead of doing this, the default is just going to be to deserialize it. Yeah, we're just going to deserialize it to a Discord event. This class will have to get more complex as my implementation goes, but that's as complex as it needs to be for now. And then what I need to do here is I need to have a private read-only options class. That's that. Yep, that's just like that. And then down here, basically anywhere where we serialize, so JSON serializer, and then there should be a deserialized. This is the one that matters the most right here. That line's getting a little long, so I'm going to put these on their own line. Alright, let's see if this loop now works. I'm sure there's something I've forgotten, but let's see if it works. This should now loop. Let's see, .NET. Oh, hold on. Actually, no, it shouldn't loop yet. No, it should. So it's logging the acknowledgement, and now we'll say .NET run. Okay, so now we're just waiting So it was an interval of 41 seconds. So now every 41 seconds, with a little bit of plus or minus, I should see a new event here where I send an event to Discord, and then it should send an event back. So we'll just wait here for 40 seconds. Ashutosh, bro, where? Oh, I think it just happened. Let's see, heartbeat sent just now. And then heartbeat acknowledged. Yep. Which is what we wanted. Wonder why this logged twice, though. Oh. Because I'm logging the event here, too. That's why. Okay, cool. So now this heartbeat is now running, which is great. And now we need to implement the rest of this logic. So at this point, what we need to do now is this. At this point, now we can identify our app to the gateway. So we're making good progress. Wave of entertainment. Can we have coffee? We do have coffee. I've just been drinking it intermittently. I've been trying to make it last. Trend live. Hi, Steven. Using VMbox on Macs, but doesn't support AMD. Any advice trying to set up Splunk? I don't use a Mac, and I've never used VMbox on a Mac. I've only used it on a Windows, so I'm sorry, man. Wave of entertainment. I need a AI agent. Well, yeah, man, go build one. That sounds like a great project. Nethro. Hey, what are you coding like the tunes? Nethro, I'm basically trying to get to the point where I can build a Discord bot. That's what my end goal is. At the moment, I'm just implementing the connection management code, but eventually I'll actually write some code that does some fun things with the server, with a Discord server. Unique UX. We will design AI to be co-pilots, not pilots, don't worry. At the end of the day, we're in control, and eventually we will be the generation in control of the future. Personal opinion. Yeah, I think co-pilot, it's funny that Microsoft stumbled, or GitHub, I guess, stumbled on Microsoft, GitHub, what does it matter? Same thing. That they stumbled onto Copilot as the first name of the real big first like AI powered product, because it really is the best framing for like how you would envision AI being used, right? Like everybody wants to be Tony Stark with their own little Jarvis. Nicholas said, what happened to your hairline? I don't know. Is my hairline really that bad? I mean, I guess you could argue it's sort of receding. But I won't worry, Nicholas, about it until my wife says something to me about it. Then I'll be concerned. AI is my sycophant. AI tells me that God is speaking directly through it to me. This conversation's out of pocket. Arkin, let's see. Men don't get sad. Yeah, men don't have feelings, right? They're just supposed to grin and bear it. Unique UX, I'm sick. Feel like, oh man, that sucks, dude. Being sick sucks. I think I've said this on stream before, but like, when you're sick, you have 99 problems in your life, right? you know, when you're not sick, you have like 99 problems, and then when you are sick, you have one problem, and it's just that you're sick. Ooh, excuse me. I have gone on a coffee rehab. Oh man, no coffee for you, Arkin? That's tough going, dude. Sogo, have you worked with gateway connections similar to this before? No, I really haven't. I've never worked with an API, or I guess a public API, that was based around WebSockets. I've used WebSockets before, but every time I've used WebSockets in C# before, I've always used SignalR, which is sort of that Microsoft-specific wrapper around WebSockets. So this is really the first time I've interacted with this class. What is it called? It's called let's see. Like, and I should say I've used WebSockets in other languages, but they've always been wrapped around like a like, you know, Socket.io in JavaScript is one that I've used quite a bit. But this is the first time in C# I've worked with the raw like client WebSocket. So I'm learning about that, which has been fun. It's been fun. This has been a fun project. I kind of picked it up on a whim, but I've had a lot of fun writing it. Let's see if that connection is still running. Is it still running? Yeah, it's still running. Every 41 seconds. All right. I like it. Although, I am going to stop it really quick. Let's see. Yeah, I don't want a console write line. I want to yeah, I'm going to do that. We also should be, we have that, yeah, we also need to be canceling and disposing of that. Oh, and I think we need to dispose of the heartbeat task too. Yeah, there's a lot of synchronization though that's going to have to happen here. But I'll come back. I'll come back and add that. So go, thanks UX. Now Steven's getting sick. Oh no, the germs are coming through the germs are traveling through the fiber, huh? You should make a YouTube video, words of wisdom, and just stitch parts of stream into it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how many people would actually watch that. They'd be like, who the fuck is this guy trying to share his wisdom with us? Hello, Azim. How are you doing, man? We need a developer retreat, just some dev bros out in the wild, eating squirrels, stoking the campfire while we swap code stories. Yeah, I would love, that would be a blast. I'd actually like to do something that involves writing code, drinking coffee, and lifting weights. That would be the perfect retreat in my book. Let's see, we've got someone in Ohio, someone in Perth, Istanbul. So what's the geographic, what's like the geographic center of all those locations? Equidistance. That needs to be where we go. But that would be a lot of fun. there used to be, when I did jujitsu, this would have been 5 years ago now, but when I was doing jujitsu, they used to have jujitsu retreats, and I always thought that looked like a lot of fun. They'd basically go somewhere for like 7 days, and you'd spar in the morning, spar in the afternoon, and then the rest of the trip was just, hanging out with like-minded people that enjoy the same things you enjoy, which I thought was fun. Probably somewhere in West Africa. I don't know. Not anything against West Africa, but it's not the most stable part of the world. You should make a project to calculate the closest location based on multiple locations. The projects, man. The things you can solve with code, right? They're endless. That actually might, Artworks Studios, that might be a fun AI task, right? We could task Copilot. We could say, okay, Copilot, I need you to write a simple console application that takes a CSV of locations as input, and it calculates the centermost point of all those locations. That seems like a worthwhile AI task. I'd be pretty impressed if one of the AI assistants could figure that out. I'm not sparring Steven. He looks like a sleeper build. Oh man, yeah. That's definitely on my bucket list to get back into jiu-jitsu. I had a ton of fun doing BJJ. The only reason I really stopped was because of COVID. I'd been training. I'd gotten to a blue belt, and I had been training for like 2 years, and then COVID hit, and we were like, well, with everything that's happening with COVID, I probably shouldn't be going to class and rolling around with a bunch of people. and then COVID happened, and then we moved here to Kansas City, and I've never taken it back up, and I need to. Maybe that's a this year thing, huh? Before the end of 2015, I get signed back up, start doing jiu-jitsu again. Alright, how would I commit this, huh? Let's see. Let's make sure we write this all out. Let's see. Get, add, get commits. Oh, actually, hold on. Before I do that, let's go back to my program CS, and let's remove all this commented out code that I had from before. Let's see, V or Shift B, Shift G, delete. All right, now let's commit it. Git commit m. Let's see, feature like refactor heartbeat interval into Discord client. I wish I could lift a truck. Steven, can you add me on Discord? I can't DM you. That's weird. Because I'm pretty sure you've DM'd me before. Must be something in my settings. I'll have to go digging to figure that out. Yeah, you can send me a message on LinkedIn if you need to too. But I don't know why. I must have changed my DM settings at some point. Turkey. Hey, I know ChatGPT has limits on how much context it can handle. Is it possible to run a local version on my PC and have it build full software like an open source snippet tool? you can most definitely run you can't run ChatGPT, but you can most definitely run some open source models like Llama. I think there's a Llama code model. If you look up something called Ollama, that's probably the easiest way to do it if you're on a Windows machine. And I think they have Mac. I think they have support for Mac too. But Ollama is probably the easiest way. You're still going to have context limits even with the local versions, so you might have to manage the context still. But I don't see why you couldn't try to coax a local LLM to write you a snippet tool. I don't know how successful it would be at that, because I would imagine you'd have to probably write it in something that you can compile to native code. I don't know. I've never written a snippet tool before, so. Ocean, is this Node.js or Bun? This is C#. This is .NET code. DM Talua, he will build an agent that can automate your life. Turnkey, only 10K. Yeah, that'd be a good way to make money. Just pump out AI agents for people. Why only GPT-2? I think it's the only one that might be open source. I don't even think GP2 is open source. I think GP2's weights are open source. I think. Bob Wilkinson guitar. Now that's a commit. Yeah. Like that. Ocean, I'm so stupid. This isn't. You're not stupid, man. You're not stupid at all. Code. I mean, you can definitely. You can make C# code look like JavaScript code, and you can make JavaScript code look like C# code. You know, depending on where you put the curly brackets in the parens and whether you use a semicolon or not. So you're not stupid, man. Sogo, it's Counter-Strike. This is CS source code. Let's see. Bob says, Hugging Face is a nice way to run models like Ollama locally. Starts a server on your machine, gives you a chat client as well as an API. Yeah, Ollama is the way to go in my opinion. I don't think that does that have anything to do with Hugging Face? I don't think Ollama has anything to do with Hugging Face though, does it? Oh, is Ollama made by Hugging Face? I didn't know that was the case. But yeah, that I 100% second that. Easiest way to get started with open source models. Panda Vlogs. Hey mate, how are you doing today? I'm doing good, Panda Vlogs. How are you? C# is Counter-Strike in your autocorrect. Artwork Studios. Oh man, that's deep. I wonder if one day we all get what we wanted in life, would we still come to Steven's streams? Well, if you didn't, I wouldn't blame you. But I can tell you, if I ever did get everything I wanted in life, I would probably still watch the people I like to watch stream. I'd probably still watch the Primogen, Pirate Software, Tim the Tapman. But I would never blame anybody if they were like, I don't need Steven's streams anymore. I would never blame anyone. I would. I have little interest in his projects. Well, thank you for being honest. Okay, I don't know how much more code I'm actually going to write tonight. I feel like that was a good stopping point. The next, okay, so maybe I add some to I think I already added the necessary to-dos. So the next thing I need to do is I need to implement, I can do this one too. I can actually uncomment this code. Oh, and I need to add that. Oh, I need to implement this. Close async. I thought I was done. Yeah, I need to do some sort of check here. If it's open, then close it. Okay, the other thing I need to do, I want to add a to-do here. Let's see. To-do. Need to add asynchronous lock to deal with synchronization. Yeah, synchronization of shared state between different threads. I want to disable this warning because I hate the blue squigglies. I hate the blue squigglies. IDE 0290. IDE 0290. Wave of entertainment. I have a private question. How can I ask you? Yeah, join the Discord, man. The Discord's a good place to be. And I don't... Despite what everybody else is saying, I will not charge you per question. Yeah, y'all are a bunch of jokesters. But yeah, I'm happy to answer your questions, Wave of Entertainment, if I can help you. There's actually a coding channel in our server. Oh, I need to hold on real quick. Let me see if I can fix the DM thing. There we go. I think I just fixed it. So I should be able to get DMs. Oh, there was a message. Let me mute that real quick. There we go. Yep, that worked. Thanks for testing that, Tulu. If we ever met the only person we recognize is Steven. Yeah. Yeah, that probably is true. Not very many people have their actual picture as their profile picture. There's a guy I follow on YouTube named Van Life Gamer, which, if you guys are into van life and you're into gaming, maybe you should give him a follow too. Uh, but he actually just posted some videos of a group trip he took um, with some of his Discord friends. Van Life Gamer, yeah, Van Life Gamer. They took a group trip to Tokyo, and they all seem to recognize. Oh, he also goes by Trent the Traveler too. Trent the Traveler, and they all seem to recognize each other. I'm not sure how, but let's see. Where is his videos? He has some like Tokyo trip videos. Yeah, it was pretty fun because obviously they didn't know each other, like they were meeting for the first time in person. So it's kind of crazy to watch a bunch of internet friends meet for the first time. Just remember, if you have a problem, refer to the first line of Steven's. Yeah, I'm a little. Yeah, that's probably. This is probably not a good. This is probably not something I would preach for everyone to live their life by, but it's a good reminder for me. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm much more of a hard ass when it comes to things like that. It probably won't be fun for my sons as they get older. My oldest son played his first season of tackle football this past fall, and football was my main sport growing up, and he got quite the lecture about hard work quite often over the course of the season. See Artwork Studios. You men, you no problem, okay? Unknown not found. Yo, what's good, Steven? Hey, what's up, man? How are you? Good to see you again. Thanks for stopping by the stream. I have some I have some uncommitted changes that I need to add. Let's see. Git commit, implement, close, method on client. I don't know. What is that? 300 and something lines change? That's a pretty good night for me, considering. Wave of entertainment. Yeah, just if you join the Discord, I will approve your member request, and then you can DM me if you have a question. I'm gonna PR your. Okay, that's fine, man. You can open up all the pull requests you want. All right, guys. It's almost 11 o'clock. I think I'm gonna wrap up. That's 2 hours, 300 lines changed. I think that's a pretty good evening for me. So I appreciate you guys all hanging out with me. Let me look at my calendar really quick. I don't think I have any meetings tomorrow afternoon. So yeah, my plan right now is to stream tomorrow around 9 a.m. Central Standard and then 2 p.m. Central Standard. So if you're around tomorrow, stop in, say hi. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys chilling with me this evening. See you, Toulouse. Buy Unique UX, Wave of Entertainment. Don't forget about the Discord if you want to ask that question of yours. LinkedIn's fine too. LinkedIn is in my, if you go to my channel description, you'll find my LinkedIn profile there if you want to connect with me there. Let's see, Artwork Studios already left. Bye, Sogo, if you're still here. All right, guys. Bye, y'all. Unknown not found. Too bad I missed the whole thing. See ya. Yeah, sorry about that, man. Yeah, timing sucks. Unique Unit UX. Add me to Discord, please, Steven. My profile picture is Baldwin. Okay, let me see if I can do that really quick. real quick. Let me see if I can. I'm kind of a Discord noob, you know. 32-year-old dad. I'm still figuring out the Discord thing. Let's see. How do I do this? There you go. Invite people. Oh, I guess I probably need to just search in like. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know how to add you. Here, just. I'm gonna put the work back on this. Here, just I put the Discord invite link in the chat. Wave Entertainment. It's just my real name. My Discord name is just Steven Freeborn. That's my Discord handle. If you go to the members, you should be able to find me in the members. But yeah, Steven Freeborn is what you're looking for. All right, guys. Y'all have a good night. If it's Monday for you still, have a good rest of your Monday. If it's Tuesday already for you, have a good rest of your Tuesday. Not disguised. Can you give the code? Oh, yeah, for sure. It's on GitHub. It's definitely a work in progress. Don't judge my synchronization. I haven't yet implemented the locking. But here's the here is not disguised. Here is the repo. There you go. That's my GitHub too. You can follow my GitHub if you're interested. Okay, I got you on LinkedIn. Nice, very cool. Yeah, happy to connect with anybody there as well. All right, guys. All right, Not Disguised. See ya. Bye, Wave of Entertainment. Not Disguised. Can you add me on Discord? Did you use that invite link? Use that invite link in the chat. There you go. I'll spam it again. That's the bet. Just use that invite link and I'll approve you as a member. All right. I think that's everybody. I think that takes care of all of it. All right, guys. Y'all have a good night. Bye.